Hello, welcome to Men's Fellowship Adventures, and my name is Joseph again. It's a little late one tonight, I understand. We had a guest in the studio today, and the taping and the recording of the guest, it didn't really come all the way out. And so I had to come back at you just to keep my promise to you of coming and spending Lent with you. You know, Lent is the time between Ash Wednesday and the time of Easter where all good Christians, set aside time to pray, to fast, and, to give, of their substance. It's a time of consecration so that you can draw closer to God. And from the beginning, God created man for fellowship. So he made man in his image. He made us a spirit. And then from the dust of the ground, he made our bodies, and then he breathed into our nostrils a breath of life, which we inherited our soul, our mind, our will, and our emotions. Well, there's a lot of stories in the Bible. You go from Adam and Eve to Cain and Abel, and then you go Noah and Joseph and, Abraham. And there's just a whole bunch of people in the Bible. And it shows, the lives of the people who followed God and those who didn't follow God. Now, because we were given the ability to create, we tend to become hardy or high-minded because we think we can do things on our own and without God, and we think we're all that in a bag of chips, just like the devil did before he got cast down. But it isn't. You have the creative ability to make your life as if you're in the Garden of Eden. You can have money if you so desire that to be, and God will give you what you need. And so if you're lusting after money, I don't believe God is gonna give it to you. But if you need money to help somebody else, I think that's what he'll give it to you for, because ultimately your father wants to see you happy, and it's just like an earthly father. He wants to make sure that you have everything that you need. But he will not give you anything that's going to make you fall away from him. And that's how I believe. Thinking about our ability to create, our mind, our will, and our emotions. These things I talk about a lot because it's the foundation of, what a man is made of. If you understand, we do it every day. When you want something, you create it. You first decide that you want it, then you see images of it, and then, you speak about it, and it comes to pass. I mean, especially when you put your emotions into it. And the images that you see, it's when you put your feelings into it, when you put your five physical senses toward that image that you see in your imagination, it makes it all the more real. Take for instance a car. If you had prayed to God, you're in your prayer time, and all of a sudden it comes out of your spirit that you need a car, and you vocalize it to your Father God, and Lord, I need a car. And in your imagination, you see images of the car that you need. And the more you can touch it and feel it and taste it, well, you don't taste cars, but the more you can wrap your five physical senses around it. The tasting would be, you probably went to a beautiful restaurant and the valet came to your car to park it and said something like, nice car. You hear those and play out that dramatic scene about you and the new car that you have or that you see in your imagination, and that's what comes to pass. So I I think that the whole key is to want that. I mean, when God opens up, you're in prayer now, and God opens up the window of the door of opportunity, and you step through that door. You're applying the ability. You're applying the tools that God has given you to enjoy life and to have it to the fullest. And you can't let nobody condemn you for it because they too have the ability to ask God in prayer for whatever they desire. And this is the kicker. You're not just waking up out the bed and saying, Lord, give me a car. No, this is what you're praying about. We spent the last 15 days, I guess, 16 days praying to God. You know, in prayer, I'm gonna say it. When you pray and you're consistent at it, you grow closer to God, and then it does come out of your bowels things that you never even thought of mentioning, because the Spirit in you knows all things, and you ask out of your spirit, and that's when it starts to come to pass. I mean, because it wasn't like you planned it, like I'm gonna go to prayer tonight, and when I see God, I'm just going to ask him for $1 billion. No. But when you're praying, and, that's like when you pray in tongues, you don't really know what you're praying about, but it comes out of your spirit, and, the Spirit knows all things. This is what you need. And that's how you receive, because you're listening to the voice of the Lord your God, and you're praying, and you're fasting, and you're giving, and that's a beautiful thing. So just be careful not to go ahead of God, because God knows what you need. He's going to bring people to you. For instance, today I was with a new client of mine, and she has a store, but she suffered a stroke, and she was telling me about putting her hair and fashion store online. And I'm, thinking, how can I help her? And I met a dude a couple of weeks ago who professes the Lord, and, we would chopping it up one time, about God and things to do with the Lord. And he came to my heart today, and I called him up, and we started chopping it up about, and that was my guest, as a matter of fact. We started chopping it up about God and the like. And I found out the dude has talent. He had a clothing line and whatnot, old school whatnot. And so I married them both together. I matched one with the other, and that's what God does. God sent this man into my life weeks ago, and getting this client today, and she had the need for that brother's skill set. Well, then I just introduced him, and that's how God works. He's going to bring whatever you need to you so that all things work in harmony. You got that? All right, well, it's a little late in the hour. I tried to record earlier. Apologize for it, but I'm here now, and I'm about to go. God bless you. Until tomorrow, have a great day.